It's VEDA number 10. I'll just quickly get some. That's a bit better. VEDA number 10, 2019. Keith Shizuo. You know the stuff by now. And if you just wondered what that was there, actually, what I use for lighting for these videos is actually just using my computer monitors, which are right in front of me, and taking them to a white screen. And it does the job, you know. I'm basically lit. I mean, if we have, I'll quickly show you the difference of like just turning one of these monitors off. See, and yeah, that, and then we go back to yeah, interesting. That's a little tip for you vloggers out there. If you need to lighten a budget, just turn the old brightness up. But anyway, it's VEDA number 10, and I'm pretty impressed that it's gone basically without issue, the entirety of VEDA. I mean, there was the thing with episode 7, but that's sort of kind of back now-ish. Anyway, so yeah, I have got some ideas coming. Again, it's really just knuckling down and getting them. Hope to do more gameplay videos, stuff like that. And some giveaways to viewers, viewer giveaways. That's going to happen soon. I've bought the giveaways, so it's now just a matter of doing the giveaways. Stay tuned to the end of the episode for that, or maybe next episode, we'll see. But yeah, today's video, I'm going to do a sort of a mini spoiler-free review of the recent Netflix anime series, High Score Girl, and the 3 OVAs that came after. Now, if you haven't... Now, this is going to be completely spoiler-free. I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as I can. Kind of 100% promise, because as I said, I haven't been editing these videos, so... No, be careful. If I do put any major spoilers, I'll shove it in the description. But yeah, I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. And this is designed as a review for someone who hasn't seen it before. If there's anybody who'd like to see me do a spoiler, like, discussion-type review on specific plot points, then, yeah, you know, the comments are all-powerful. I do read them all. You know, hit me up on Twitter, badger me there, and all that good stuff. But yeah. So, High Score Girl. Now, if you haven't seen it at all, basically what it is it is an anime series, 12 episodes long, so sort of a mini series, and it's about a boy who, now it starts in 1991, Haruo, and he's an arcade gamer, and that's kind of what it's about. Arcade culture in Japan in the early to mid-90s. And you follow this boy Haruo through up until 1995. That's the entirety of season 1. And it shows his life as a gamer, going through all these things and interacting with 2 girls. The first one is called Ono, and the way they meet, I said I wouldn't spoil, you know, vague plot points in like the first-ish episodes. I'm gonna count that as okay. Basically, he's beaten by this girl, Ono, who doesn't speak and is sort of upper class, prim and proper, and he sort of swears vengeance-ish, but of course it turns into a friendship. And then you have another girl, Hidaka, who is vaguely interested in games, or becomes interested by chance in games, and they have a bit of a relationship like that. I don't want to spoil too much. I really want you to, you know, experience this and get to see all the plot points. Long and the short of it, I'll say now, if you are interested in retro/vintage video gaming, you don't mind a decent romantic comedy, go watch it now. It's very good. If you want to be completely unspoiled, just go watch it now. You will probably enjoy it. You will know if it's something you want to like by the first 2 episodes. Okay? Or maybe 3. 2 or 3 episodes. If you can get through those, that's what you like. But I'm going to review this as more of like a gaming fan's point of view. I'm also an anime fan. You know, I like all the older anime. But yeah, I'm gonna do it from a game review's fan's point of view, because that's what the channel is for. And it is glorious for a video game fan, quite frankly. Of course, it's set in the age of arcades. Of course, the age of arcades lasted a little bit longer in Japan than it did in the US, certainly Australia. Well, Australia clung on for a bit, but time zone. Yeah, and all of the graphics for video games and the entire thing, be it arcade, console, anything, are I'm pretty sure direct capture pixel graphics, or at least reverse engineered from actual sprite artwork, actual physics, and actual machines and all that. It looks like proper arcade graphics. I believe with a simulated CRT feature, and it looks beautiful. Also, extreme attention to detail on hardware accuracy, on arcade machine accuracy, with control styles and machine types and that sort of thing, on historical accuracy with release. References keep getting dropped left and right and center to, there's an ongoing joke about Street Fighter 2, how when we start the anime, there's just Street Fighter 2, and later on, it's like expecting 3. No, it's the new challenges. No, it's whatever, until finally you get Alpha, and they're just like, yeah, Street Fighter 3 ain't a thing. And it's great to hear him reference these kind of cultures. The Virtual Boy is mentioned at one point as a hot ticket item that everyone wants to get, and that's kind of what it looked like initially. But also, so in terms of games, an interesting quirk that was chosen with the dub is they chose to localize game names and especially console names, which was interesting because, as many of you all know, what was known as the PC Engine in Japan was known as the TurboGrafx 16 in other regions. And that made for an interesting, a failed visual gag in the dub, if you don't know what the PC Engine is, where Haruo was talking about the PC with the TurboGrafx 16, the male lead, and someone's trying to visualize what it looks like. Oh no! And they think of like a computer with an engine on it, PC Engine. So it doesn't quite work. And now I should probably talk about characters. Haruo is a very stubborn boy. Well, not stubborn. Stubborn's the wrong word. He's a very sort of stuck-up boy, and he is the center of his video game world. Video games are very important to him. They're the one thing he's good at. That's made clear very early on. And he sees video games as his world. That is what he's passionate about. That's what he devotes himself to. And you really feel that. You get the feeling, this is a kind of person who can't really exist again today, especially at that age, in the internet age. He's just devoted to these games. And of course, a lot of the rivalry and a lot of the drama in the series is devoted between him trying to beat other characters. Okay? And what I think it does very well, despite him being someone who has practiced since, they were a child and have gotten better, they make it very clear that he got there not through talent, but through hard work. And they also they keep it very vague exactly how good at games he is. So that in any given tournament or versus style situation, it's never quite clear if he's going to win. Pokemon is an example, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an example of something that does that poorly. Because you can always kind of Ash is going to pretty much win all the way through the end. And in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimately Yugi's going to come out on top. And, maybe they'll throw a curveball here and there, but you can kind of see it coming. With High School Girl, you can never quite see it coming as to who is going to win. They keep putting little dots of I lost, or characters they're on a really good streak, but then they'll lose, or like they'll show something stupid that they do, and like they'll show slight advantages, disadvantages, and of course, because Haruo is the main character, you get more of his internal monologue, especially considering one of the characters doesn't speak. It's just done very well. It's hard to describe, and I am going off the cuff here. That's why this will be a very rambly review, as it has been already for 10 minutes. And yeah, as I said before, if you're an arcade fan, you're gonna love the sheer variety of arcade games they show off. We see stuff from Virtua Cop to Outrun to Ghosts and Goblins. You see all different kinds of arcade machines. You see the big Astro City ones, the little cocktail ones, the orange candy store ones. And it's a really interesting look at a different culture of video gaming in the early days. Like, for someone my age, it's really just a romanticization of that period. But not always a romanticization. There's also there's a scene in the first episode where Haruo goes up to a machine outside of a candy shop, and it's been basically destroyed. It's got a missing ball on the thing, missing buttons, and yeah, I mean, I had an experience the other day very much like that, where in my local cinema, you have a relatively modern TIE Fighter game, a Star Wars TIE Fighter game, and it hadn't been there a week, and the controls were buggered beyond belief. And so yeah, it's a lot of moments like that really speak to you. And there you go. That's the old sleep mode. And I'm sorry that I'm sort of running out of points, but one thing I'd have to criticize is if you are very I'm not particularly, but if you are very sensitive to exposition and quite clunky exposition, that happens quite a bit. It was adapted from a manga. I don't know how much longer the manga's been going over the anime series, but it is clunky. There are a lot of lines, both about video games and about just the characters' interactions in general, that are a bit difficult. They're just a bit clunky. They don't need to be there. You could have shown and not told a lot of this stuff, but they needed to go quickly. They needed to get information out, but sometimes I'd argue that the information didn't need to go out. Oh well. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. There was something I was going to say regarding that. Yeah. But ultimately, I really like it. The relationship, as I said before, that this is a romantic comedy, but it's the characters we're dealing with are quite young. They start off in middle school, they end up in high school. It goes over the course of about 5 years. So these relationships develop really slowly. Because, of course, sorry, but I'm just a bit all over the place. But yeah, these relationships develop very slowly, and it feels very real. And no one is really even aware of that's the kind of relationship they want, with one notable exception, but I won't say anything, because I do want you to experience this properly if you're going to watch it. But, especially the relationship between two of the characters, I won't say whom, neither of them are really looking for a romantic relationship. They just want to play games. But you can see something happening. Especially Haruo. Haruo is a man who's, you've heard the term married to his work. He's married to his games. And he's just trying to work out what growing up and what experiencing human interactions like that is actually like. Because he's a man or he's a person who, separated himself from his friends and social life. You can see, he stays back after school to play video games on a Turbo Express, and any social he has is about video games, and also his superiority in video games. So it makes sense that he wouldn't have very high social skills, and you see that a lot in the beginning. for example, like a lot of his friends, they're talking about Super Nintendo games. You think, oh, he likes games, he do it. But no, he has to one-up them and say, oh, the Super Nintendo's okay, but the TurboGrafx 16 is where real games are. I don't know what voice that was, but it wasn't his. But yeah, he's like, the TurboGrafx 16. And you can see that, like, you know, not only is... And he mellows out as it goes on. He, like, starts to embrace older games at some point. And you can kind of see that you get the inkling near the end that he's going to be a retro game fan, because he starts off just wanting the best and the newest games. And while he's still excited about the best and the newest, he starts going back and appreciating where he started, where games started, and that sort of thing. And that's a really interesting thing to look at, because that's a transition that, assuming you're retro game fans, that all of us have gone through at one point or another. At one point, we all looked at the older games as disposable, as old, as curiosities, and no more. But, you know, I mean, as my PS2 collection can attest, it grows into something more than that. And, yeah, ultimately, it's just a really, and it pulls at the heartstrings. It really does. My girl, I've rewatched it. I've rewatched the first section now at least 3, maybe 4 times. I'm kind of quite, even though it only came out in November, and I only found it in December. And I've watched the ending 3 episodes, which came out later, but are still part of season 1, still the continuing story. I've watched them twice, and I was rewatching them with my girlfriend. She hadn't seen the last few, and she was just, you know, doing that thing that some guys do, where they go, okay, and like, and like, she was into this relationship. It had sucked her in, and it is a very satisfying anime. To borrow, I might agree with this, but to borrow the words of Conrad Zimmerman on the Spin-Off Doctors podcast, although I agree with it wholly. At one point, before the last 3 episodes were released, it stopped open-ended, and it wasn't clear that if it was going to get any more episodes. It didn't even stop open-ended. It stopped at what is, in retrospect, a cliffhanger. And despite this, the series as a whole felt very satisfying. If it had stopped there wouldn't really be a problem. It's a 12-episode series, and it would have just been itself. It would have just been High School Girl. Those 3 episodes came out. Pretty much all the issues set up had been resolved. They're still not quite finished yet. There's definitely more to these characters' lives. They're definitely at a pivotal point. But at the same time, it's still very satisfying. You're left definitely wanting more, but at the same time, it's a complete experience, and that is difficult to do. And that kind of, because they manage that, I see, negates a lot of my issues with the dialogue and the exposition. And, yeah. And, of course, there is going to be a season 2. It's been announced, I believe, in October. A new full season continuing on the story. When I saw that, I was so happy. I literally was reading the screen like... I literally did that. It was... I really like the series. If I gave it a rating on a scale of playing it to hating it, I would give this one a playing it. Definitely a playing it. In the way my ratings are done, it'd be a playing it. And I should do a video at some point on how my ratings work, the playing it to hating it scale. But you know, a video for another day. I've really got to write down another 20 videos. But yeah, so that's my completely non-spoiler review of High School Girl. I really don't want to say anything more. There's a lot more to be said. I really don't want to spoil anything more. I really want people to feel it out. And if you have not watched it and you like video games, go watch it. Okay, it's 12 episodes long. You can just watch 2 episodes, see if you like it. But yeah, so I've got to end it there. Now, I did say giveaway. So, let's talk giveaway. I alluded to this when I first launched my Patreon. Oh no, actually, before we talk giveaway, while I've still got you, I have a meme Facebook page. It's run by my good friend, Louis Frankie. And he has been releasing memes based on events happening on the channel, completely separate to me. I don't really have any creative input, but he's been creating some, and if you kind of like my content, that page is going to be linked in the description. Hopefully, maybe not immediately when you watch this. Might take me some time to edit the description, but it'll be there. If you search Keith's Cheesewo Keith posting, that's what it's called. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. Giveaways. We're getting past the 20-minute mark, so I'll just quickly say, for everyone currently giving to my Patreon, there are only 2 people, but at the time of drawing, that is, I will be doing a Lucky Door prize. If anybody ever watched the old show Savo on Nickelodeon, they had a game called Win It or Bin It. You chose between door A and door B. One door would have a good, awesome prize behind it. The other one would have a booby prize behind it. I entered it as a kid. I got my name read out on TV. I got a booby prize. It was a wind-up chattering teeth I ended up winning instead of a signed t-shirt. So you can probably find that somewhere on the internet, unless it's some lost media. I don't know. Yeah, Keith Robinson. Yep. Would have been about 2002, 2003, 2004, about then. Anyway, so that's the format it's going to take. If you are giving to my Patreon, any amount, even the lowest, I wish you could donate less than $1, but go down to $1. You go into the draw. On a date I have not decided yet. I will probably decide sometime in the near future. It will definitely be during VEDA. I will take a name at random, and they will have the chance to choose A or B, which are 2 different games. And I will give it a description in some form or another of each game. They choose A or B, and is then revealed what they won. So yes, now, criteria. For Australian residents, you can donate any amount to the Patreon. Just $1. And, then you'll go into the draw. You need to have your shipping details already on your Patreon, or I will not pick you. Yes, in case anyone didn't know, everyone you support on Patreon has your shipping details and knows your address. But, yeah. If you are international, prizes will be limited to portable games, or for disc games, either disc only or disc and artwork. No manual, no case, to save on weight. Otherwise it would cost way too much to ship. And you must be donating at least $3 Australian. Other than that, it's fair game. So I put my Patreon in there. So that's going to be happening. It will happen. Someone will win a game by the end of the month. And for the first drawing, it will be something decent. So, yeah. I can only think of one person who's likely to be that person, because I need to say thank you to them. But still, I might do multiple drawings, depending on the interest we get. And this will be an ongoing thing on the channel. So, yeah, go check that out. And updates on that soon. So, yeah. So that was Keith Cheesewo number 10, which was a bit long. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you for a shorter, quicker, more concise, less rambly Keith Cheesewo next time. See ya.